The 1980s gave us Star Wars sequels and Blade Runner. But what about the hidden gems? These 15 forgotten sci-fi films tackled big ideas with tiny budgets and somehow predicted the world we're living in today.
My name is Zach Hobson. If there's anybody out there at all, could you please contact me at home?
The Quiet Earth, 1985. A scientist wakes up to find everyone else is gone. Every single person on Earth has simply vanished overnight. This New Zealand masterpiece follows Zach Hobson as he slowly realizes he might be responsible for humanity's disappearance. What makes this film timeless? The crushing weight of isolation, something we all felt during lockdowns. The environmental themes hit harder now than they did in 1985. Climate change, scientific responsibility, the fragility of our world. It's all here. Shot for practically nothing, yet the cinematography is breathtaking. Empty cities, abandoned cars, silence everywhere. The film captures the beauty and terror of solitude better than any big-budget apocalypse movie. Bruno Lawrence's performance carries the entire film, a man slowly losing his mind in a world without consequences. The ending still sparks debates 40 years later. Reality bending, multiple dimensions, the nature of existence itself. The Quiet Earth asks questions that modern sci-fi is still trying to answer.
Look back! I could kill you easy!
Enemy Mine, 1985. A human pilot and his alien enemy crash on a hostile planet. They hate each other, until they realize survival means cooperation. Dennis Quaid and Louis Gossett Jr. deliver powerfully emotional performances in this unlikely friendship story. The alien makeup was revolutionary. Gossett disappears completely into the Drac character. No CGI, just incredible practical work that still looks convincing today. The language barrier creates genuine communication challenges that feel authentic. But here's why it matters now. This film tackled xenophobia and prejudice decades before those became buzzwords. Two beings from different species learning to see past their differences, finding common ground through shared struggle. The themes couldn't be more relevant. Modern films about alien contact could learn from this intimate approach to first contact.
I like her. I like her for the maze.
Space Hunter Adventures in the Forbidden Zone, 1983. Three women crash on a plague planet. A bounty hunter agrees to rescue them for the reward money. What follows is a wild ride through post-apocalyptic wastelands filled with mutants, scavengers, and bizarre technology. This was made for 3D theaters, but the world-building works without the gimmick. The production design is incredible. Rusted vehicles, makeshift weapons, tribal societies built from technological scraps. Every frame feels lived in and authentic. Sure, the dialogue is cheesy, but the imagination on display is boundless. Space Hunter proves that creativity and passion can overcome budget limitations. Modern filmmakers obsessed with CGI spectacle should take notes.
Mommy, who's that man?
Jason, come away.
Time after time, 1980. H.G. Wells actually built a time machine, and Jack the Ripper stole it to escape to 1979 San Francisco. Now, Wells must follow him through time to stop the killer and get his machine back. Malcolm McDowell brings charm and intelligence to H.G. Wells. His fish-out-of-water reactions to modern life provide genuine laughs without mocking the character. David Warner is appropriately menacing as the Ripper, evil adapting faster than good to new circumstances. The romance with Mary Steenburgen develops naturally. Their relationship explores how progress affects human connection. Technology advancing faster than emotional evolution. Wells expects the future to be more civilized. Instead, he finds violence has simply become more efficient. Time after time proves that clever concepts and strong performances trump expensive effects. It's a template for smart, character-driven sci-fi that modern films rarely attempt. Life Force, 1985. Space vampires drain life energy from humans, turning London into a zombie apocalypse. Tobe Hooper's ambitious epic combines cosmic horror with urban destruction on a massive scale. The practical effects are stunning. Naked space vampires, energy transfer sequences, and wholesale city destruction. This is big-budget filmmaking that swings for the fences. Sometimes missing, but never boring. What makes it relevant today? Energy addiction metaphors that feel prophetic. Social media draining our life force. Technology vampirism. The film's themes about entities feeding off human vitality resonate in our attention economy world. Life Force influenced everything from Species to Marvel's cosmic horror elements. It's ambitious science fiction that refuses to be categorized. Exactly what the genre needs more of.
Let's try one. Together.
Maybe.
Saturn III, 1980. Two scientists on a remote space station receive a visitor, and a homicidal robot that develops an unhealthy obsession. Kirk Douglas and Farrah Fawcett play the isolated researchers whose peaceful existence gets shattered by technology gone wrong. The robot design is genuinely unsettling, a hulking mechanical presence that moves with disturbing human-like intelligence. Harvey Keitel's unhinged performance as the visiting scientist adds psychological menace to the technological threat. AI consciousness themes that seemed like fantasy in 1980 now feel like documentary footage. The robot's growing obsession with human behavior, its attempts to understand and replicate emotion, we're living through those developments right now. The space station design feels realistic and functional. No swooshing sounds or flashy displays, just industrial machinery and cramped living quarters. The isolation is palpable, making every threat feel more dangerous. Sure, the film has pacing issues, but its core ideas about artificial intelligence developing beyond human control remain terrifyingly relevant. Saturn III predicted our current anxieties about AI development decades before they became mainstream concerns.
Second that door opens, I'm gonna kill him! Slice her!
Outland, 1981. A space marshal uncovers corruption in a mining operation on Jupiter's moon. Sean Connery plays the lone lawman fighting corporate interests and hired killers in this high noon in space. The production design is incredible, a realistic vision of space colonization focused on profit rather than exploration. The mining facility feels like an offshore oil rig transported to space. Dirty, industrial, dangerous work in a hostile environment. Corporate corruption themes feel more relevant than ever. Workers exploited for profit, environmental destruction ignored for short-term gains, whistleblowers facing violent retaliation. This isn't science fiction anymore. Outland proves that science fiction works best when it mirrors real-world problems through futuristic settings. It's a template for grounded space stories that modern films like Gravity and The Martian follow.
Oh my God, what are you doing? One of your friends?
Trancers, 1984. Time-traveling cop Jack Death hunts psychic criminals called Trancers in a dystopian future. When the bad guys escape to 1985, Death must possess his ancestor's body to continue the pursuit. The low-budget ingenuity is impressive. Creative effects work that maximizes every dollar. The long second device that slows time around the user showcases clever practical effects over expensive CGI. Cyberpunk themes executed on a shoestring budget. Urban decay, mind control, technology as oppression. All the elements that would later appear in bigger films like The Matrix. But Trancers has a noir sensibility that makes it unique. Tim Thomerson brings world-weary charm to Jack Death. His fish-out-of-water reactions to 1980s culture provide humor without undermining the serious themes about addiction and mind control. The Trancers themselves, humans transformed into zombie-like slaves, serve as metaphors for drug addiction and social control. Scary because they look normal until activated by their masters. Runaway, 1984. In the near future, robots handle domestic tasks until they malfunction and turn dangerous. Police specialist Jack Ramsey investigates why household robots are suddenly attacking their owners. Tom Selleck brings everyman credibility to the tech-savvy cop role. The film's vision of domestic robots, smart homes, and automated assistants was pure fantasy in 1984. Now it's our daily reality. The robot designs are practical and believable. Not humanoid, but functional machines built for specific tasks. Spider-like construction robots, security drones, even robotic bullets that seek targets autonomously. Runaway predicted our current anxieties about smart home security, IoT vulnerabilities, and autonomous weapons. What seemed like paranoid fantasy in 1984 now reads like a documentary about modern technological threats. Dreamscape, 1984. Psychics can enter people's dreams for therapy or assassination. When the program gets weaponized for political purposes, dream researcher Alex Gardner must stop a psychic killer in the dream world. The dream sequences are genuinely creative, surreal imagery that captures how dreams actually feel rather than literal representations. The nightmare scenarios tap into universal fears: falling, being chased, loss of control. Mental health themes that were taboo in 1984 now feel progressive. Using dreams for therapy, treating PTSD through guided visualization, the connection between sleep and psychological healing, modern medicine is catching up to this film's ideas. Dreamscape influenced everything from Inception to Stranger Things. It's a template for psychological sci-fi that explores the mind as a battleground for good and evil. The Final Countdown, 1980. The USS Nimitz aircraft carrier gets caught in a time storm and emerges on December 6, 1941, one day before Pearl Harbor. The crew must decide whether to change history or let tragedy unfold. Real Navy cooperation makes everything feel authentic. Actual F-14 fighter jets, genuine aircraft carrier operations, and military personnel alongside professional actors. The technical details are impeccable. The moral dilemma drives the entire story. Should they save thousands of lives at Pearl Harbor? What if changing history makes things worse? The philosophical questions feel weightier because the setting is so realistic. While the resolution disappoints some viewers, the journey there explores complex themes about historical responsibility and the weight of knowledge. Sometimes the questions matter more than the answers. Cherry 2000, 1987. In 2017, relationships are so complicated that men prefer android companions. When Sam's perfect robot wife breaks down, he ventures into the wasteland to find a replacement and discovers something about real human connection. The post-apocalyptic production design is fantastic. A desert world of scavengers, tribalism, and environmental collapse. The practical effects and stunt work create convincing action sequences on a modest budget. Gender commentary that was ahead of its time. The film satirizes male fantasies about perfect, compliant partners while exploring how technology might replace human intimacy. Dating apps and AI companions make this satire feel prophetic. Melanie Griffith plays the tracker helping Sam navigate the wasteland. Her character is tough, independent, and more interesting than the android he's trying to replace. The romance develops naturally as Sam realizes what he's been missing. The Hidden, 1987. An alien parasite jumps between human hosts, using their bodies to commit crimes and experience physical pleasures. A cop and mysterious FBI agent team up to track the creature through Los Angeles. The body-swapping concept creates genuine paranoia. Anyone could be the alien at any time. The possession sequences are disturbing without being gory, focusing on personality changes rather than physical transformation. Kyle MacLachlan brings otherworldly intensity to the FBI agent role. His performance hints at hidden depths while maintaining audience sympathy. Michael Nouri provides grounded cop credibility as his reluctant partner. This deserves recognition alongside other 80s classics for its clever concept and tight execution. Deadly Friend, 1986. Teenage genius Paul implants an AI chip into his dead girlfriend's brain, bringing her back as a cyborg with superhuman strength and limited emotions. Wes Craven directed this early exploration of artificial resurrection. The robot-human hybrid effects are convincing for their time. Kristy Swanson's performance as the revived Samantha captures the uncanny valley effect, human appearance with mechanical behavior patterns. AI consciousness themes that seemed fantastical in 1986 now feel like tomorrow's headlines. Digital resurrection, consciousness uploading, the ethics of artificial life. We're approaching these questions in real laboratories. The film explores teenage obsession and the inability to let go. Paul's refusal to accept Samantha's death leads to increasingly dangerous consequences. Millennium, 1989. Time travelers from a dying future steal passengers from disasters moments before their deaths, replacing them with artificial bodies. The real people are taken to the future to help rebuild civilization. The complex temporal mechanics require attention, but reward careful viewers. Multiple timelines, paradox resolution, and the ethics of stealing the doomed create genuinely thought-provoking scenarios. Environmental themes feel urgently relevant today. The future Earth is dying from pollution and resource depletion, forcing desperate measures to preserve humanity. Climate change makes these themes feel less fictional. Chris Christopherson brings weathered credibility to the investigation storyline. Cheryl Ladd handles the difficult exposition as a time traveler, trying to save both past and future. Millennium's biggest strength is its moral complexity. These 15 forgotten gems prove that the best sci-fi comes from imagination, not budgets. They predicted our technological anxieties, social problems, and environmental challenges, while entertaining us with creative storytelling. Sometimes the movies that slip through the cracks are the ones most worth finding. Subscribe for more hidden cinema treasures waiting to be rediscovered.